Hey guys, all right, week 7. After this week, we will be officially like way over halfway as far as points go in the semester. So, first off, number 1, just focus on the tests this Monday and Tuesday. Make sure you're studying, preparing for that. If you haven't done this yet, remember, if you'll go to the learning materials and click on the Unit 3 folder, there's a video that's got a review for, I'll give you a worksheet that you can print off and fill out just to kind of summarize some of the steps of photosynthesis and cell respiration. And then you should have a review video that you can watch that will help you fill out that worksheet. So if you've studied, if you've used the study guide and you're looking for something else just to make sure you feel comfortable with this material, if you haven't done that yet already, make sure that you watch that review worksheet video. I think that'll help just kind of organize your thoughts as far as what goes on in those chapters. All right. So anyway, after you've done that, after you've taken the test, since we are officially over the halfway point as far as points go in the semester, just take a moment to look and see what your average is in this class. All right. If you're doing great, that's awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. And a lot of you are doing really well in here. If your grade right now is not where you need it to be, if you know that you have to have like a C for this to transfer somewhere and you don't have a C, if you've got any questions about stuff like that, if you'll send me a message and let me know, what I can do is it'll take like a minute or two, but I can pull up your grade book and I can figure out what are you going to have to make from here on out to finish with whatever grade you're shooting for in the class. So if that's something you need to know, please let me know. Don't wait until it's too late and say, well, I didn't know what to do. I wish I would have known this earlier. And as always, I'll feel free to give you tips or answer any questions you have about the material. If you're struggling with it, you just got to let me know, okay? All right, so Monday and Tuesday is exam 3. It's going to be on chapters 6, 7, and 8. 6 was on metabolism, so like processes that happen inside the cell. 7 was on photosynthesis, and 8 was on cellular respiration. So all of those chapters are going to be on exam 3. You've got, it's about like normal, you've got about a minute per question, and I think there's around 60, 65 questions or so. So time has not been an issue for anybody so far, so just keep, as long as you're prepared, that's going to be plenty of time. Just make sure you set aside some time to sit down, no distractions going on, and take that test. All right. After the test, go ahead and start on chapter 9 and 10. You've got 2 lecture videos to watch this week. So that's a little more than normal. I know last week we had 2, but they were a lot shorter. So these are on chapter 9 is the cell cycle and mitosis. What that is how our cells divide. So like your skin cells or other cells in your body, you've got one cell, they go through a division process and they split into 2 cells. That's what chapter 9 is on. Chapter 10 is on meiosis. So that's also cell division, but that is producing sperm cells or egg cells. So that's how we make reproductive cells. And that process is a little different, but those 2 chapters go together really well. What I mean is if you understand the steps of mitosis first, it makes meiosis a lot easier to understand. So we're going to watch both of those this week after you take the test. You've got a review quiz, which is due on Sunday. You've got a discussion board for the 3rd exam that's on photosynthesis. This one's a little different. Instead of like having a discussion board where you leave a post and then you reply to another student, it's not a video this time either or like a audio story. It's a couple of articles I want you to read. And I'm going to have 2 posts started already. And you're going to click reply and you're going to leave a comment for each article. All right, so just read the instructions and it'll explain that. It's not bad. It's just a little different. Instead of having, you can reply to someone if you want to, but you've got 2 different articles and make sure you leave a response for each post because that's what I'm going to be, that's what I'm going to be grading. All right. You also have lab 6, which is on cellular respiration. All right. So this is a neat one. We did one with photosynthesis last week with spinach leaves, and it showed how photosynthesis takes place. We're going to do one with millet seed this week. A lot of people are familiar with millet seed. It's good bird seed, so you might have seen that before. We're going to use millet seed to show how cellular respiration takes place. So just the one really big heads up on this lab. It's not bad, but there is a step where you have to germinate the millet seed. It means you have to kind of wake it up, basically. Right now it's dormant and it's dry. So you've got a couple Petri dishes, little plastic dishes in your lab kit. You're going to get a paper towel and get it damp and then set the seeds on top of that damp paper towel and then close it off and leave it for a couple days to germinate. That kind of wakes the plants up. But that takes 2 or 3 days to germinate the seeds. So what that means is this isn't something you can forget about until Sunday night, because you're not going to have enough time to wake those seeds up to do the lab. So I'll try to send you a reminder halfway through the week, like on Wednesday or so. But at the very latest, you need to start germinating your seeds on Wednesday. Now, the good news is those 2 or 3 days while you're germinating the seeds, you don't have to do anything. You just set it, leave it for a couple days, and then come back to it when you're ready to do your lab. All right? So it's not like you're going to have to be doing work on this lab every day for several days. You just got to do that stage to get the seeds germinating, and then later you can do the lab like usual. Okay? That also means if you're planning on doing the lab like early in the week, then you need to, like maybe this weekend, if you're watching this early in the week, or like really early Sunday or Monday, you need to get the seeds germinating. Okay? There's a list of materials that you need. Most of this is household items, so distilled water, scissors, some type of a marker. It says camera, so you're going to have to take a picture of your germinated seeds. And this is a big one. If you read the instructions on the lab, it tells you this. But you have to have a sheet of paper with your name and the date in that picture of your germinated seeds. You got to do that to get credit for that part of the lab. Okay? So just a heads up on that. When you take the picture, just grab a scrap sheet of paper, write your name and the date, and then include that in there. Okay? You need a desk lamp too. It says 100-watt incandescent bulb, so those are pretty bright. If you don't have 100-watt, just get as close as you can and have that light pretty close to that part of the lab, and that should be okay. But if you've got 100-watt or like an equivalent, like a really bright light, that will work best. Okay? All right, so that's it. If you have any questions, let me know, and good luck on the test.